Hello, beloved. It's me, Robin Hallett, intuitive healer and light sparkler at robinhallett.com. And this is Tea with Robin. On today's episode, let's talk about your mind and the stories and the energy it generates and the way you can carry an upset like a dog with a bone. We're going to talk about putting it down today. And it is not spiritual namby-pamby, woo-woo, ka-choo. This is the real deal. It is time to call bullshit on our mental stories and get out there and live the life we want to live. Because guess what? We're always choosing. Again and again and again, we're making choices. So come on, grab a cup of yum-yum and meet me here. Well, hello, gorgeous, amazing, beautiful friend. It's me, Robin. Welcome back to the podcast, Tea with Robin. This is episode 148. 148. All of the show notes, like anything I mention here, good links, books, recipes, you never know, references to other episodes, what have you, you'll find in the show notes. If you go to robinhallett.com/148, just come to my blog, and you'll find it there, and you'll also find it in the episode description below. Now, if it's your first time here, hello. This is a space, a sacred space for you to receive vital nutrients in your spirit, in your soul, to help be not just soothed for the moment, but I hope a place where you are learning and growing and expanding who you are and this life we're in. So welcome, 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 and my deep gratitude to whoever got you here, however you got here. I am so grateful that we are together. This is really like a person here who's been on the journey for a long time, helping you to ride in your life in a way that brings peace and ease and the things you're wanting to your life, the focus, the clarity, the opportunities. That's what we talk about here. Friends returning, hello, hello, hello. Have you missed me? I had a little week off. It was very, very wonderful. Very nice, very easy, very peaceful. I went to the beach. I did this and that. I laid around. I doodled. I made pasta. I made popcorn. I hung out. I watched TV. I listened to Muji. I listened to music. You know, I floated in my pool. I did whatever I wanted. It was so nice just to have time to myself. And so I'm wondering how you are. How's your experience been going? Have you been good to your heart these days? Have you been good to your soul? Are you remembering your practice? I almost can hear some yes buts. Sometimes if I'm really quiet, I can hear you over there. Yes, but. Yes, but. Yes, but. Yes, but. It's so funny. The other day I had you didn't hear me say the other day, did you? No, you didn't. Okay. I had a session with somebody a while back, and, you know, it's amazing sometimes. I look at your blueprint and see the journey you're on and what you're meant to be doing and help steer some of your energy into a place of clarity. It's amazing to me sometimes because it'll be like the best reading ever, according to Robin. The information, the beauty, the life, you know. Not getting mad at this person, but just realizing like it's always a choice. We can be told, like you could be told on April 15th, 2022, you're going to realize your dream, like whatever your dream is. You're going to stop suffering. You're going to meet your guru. Like you could tell somebody and they'll still have a yes, but this and this and this and this and this. And each of us has to kind of keep that clear, that the yes but in our own minds, coming out of our own mouths, that is a problem only we can fix. Only we can heal it. Only we can address it. The yes but that's coming out of you, only you can fix that. Only you can heal that. It's kind of an amazing thing. This knowing we have, like, I need help. I need help. I want help. You go to see somebody. You go to talk to a friend, you're like, tell me, is it all, have I wasted my life? Am I a terrible person? Is it too late for me? Whatever it is, And they're telling you, hopefully, truth. I know I am. I'm speaking truth, talking about the real deal stuff. And it really takes a leap of faith, I know. You have to open yourself and let it be here. But there is some niggling part of us that is the yes butter. It wants to argue and show the crappy evidence to the contrary and stay upset about the one assholey thing somebody did, and keep going back to that. And so I have seen that time and again, where somebody keeps coming back around to this really old, stale story. And yeah, I really marvel at it. I have certainly been there. This is not to say I'm here and you're there. Oh, I know this place well. Where we push it away. We push away the healing we say we want. We push away the possibility that things can be good and focus on what's upsetting and gnawing at us. And that's kind of what I want to keep talking with you about today, is that yes but. That yes but. Why the yes but? Yes, but it's like, hi, you're going to meet the love of your life. You're going to have a baby. I see you healthy and well. I really feel a strong thing around you of creativity is going to really strike you, whatever. Yes, but what about the lady at work who said, what about the lady who didn't invite me to her party? What about how I'm old? We have stories in our heads, my friends. All of us have this. All of us have this. And seriously, the story in your head is up to you. Let's have some tea before I get going too far. I've got iced Earl Grey today with some oat milk and stevia. And here's what I'm going to say. Cheers to the freedom that it's up to us. Recognizing what we're doing is huge. And may we be in the hugeness of that aha today. Cheers. The other day I said to somebody, oh my God, seriously, do you realize that the thing you just told me is seriously, it is just a thought in your head. Just a thought in your head. Yeah, but da-da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da-da and it says this and it says that. Sometimes people be like, it says this in the Bible. I'm like, do you realize that the Bible itself is, now don't go crazy on me, please. Don't write to me now. Don't do it. The Bible itself, it's through a filter, through a channel. People have written words and made decisions and edited things out. There were things edited out. Google the Gospel of Thomas. Google Elaine Pagel, and you will learn some interesting things. And whenever somebody says, yeah, but it's in the Bible, my mind has a soundtrack. Dun, dun, dun. Because now, God, I wish. It's so hard when we pull out things like the Bible or whatever your version of this thing that we grew up with. It's like the thing, and nobody can go against this thing, and it is the truth. Except, who of us received direct knowledge from the Bible? Weren't we all taught by people who taught us the Bible? Or didn't we study something? I'm talking about us growing up now. Didn't we study something that somebody else was teaching on? It's still, if you really sit with it, an interpretation of a channeled receiving or a recounting of events. And, it's a beautiful thing to consider, being open to loosening the grip on the literalness of so many things we just can't let go of. And it's really not us. It's the mind using these things to torture us, to keep us hostage. What do you say? Not everything we say is fact, but, thinking makes it so. The thoughts you keep thinking become the beliefs you carry. The thoughts you keep thinking become the beliefs that you carry. And it feels so true because we think it 100 billion times. 100 kajillion times. We lay grooves down. We create tracks for ourselves. We make mantras out of negative stories. But you are not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You're not your thoughts. You're not your mind. And I get that it's hard. Like yesterday, I had one of those days where it just felt like a freaking slog, a struggle. My mind was on that thought, and the thoughts. My stories. The thought. You're going to guess. It's either A or B. I don't even have to tell you at this point, do I? And, I said to myself, Robin, you're going to spend the day on this crap again? I guess we could start saying, mind, are you going to spend the day on this crap again? We have a whole day before us. Beautiful things going on. I do love my sessions with clients. It's amazing to be in this kind of space together. Channeling, creating, choosing, remembering the light, this and that, working on stuff, feeling alive, feeling connected. I love it so much. And do you want to feel like a piece of poop at the same time or not? No, I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to focus here. So right there, I was on a walk at the park and it's beautiful. On top of it, isn't it astounding how no matter the vista, no matter how much money you have, no matter how thin you look in your jeans or whatever it is, because who cares? We all have goals and wishes, and I don't really judge what matters to you. I don't think there's a real hierarchy, like in terms of lesser or more valuable wishes. I just think what will make your heart sing is what will make your heart sing, Yeah. So it's amazing to me that it doesn't matter all the things that are going well. None of that really has the power to impact this mind chatter, because the mind chatter is not you. It is not on board with your ahas and your awakenings. Its only goal is to stay separate and alone and afraid and keep generating that energy, those hormones, whatever you want to think of it as, to keep in a state of awareness that is not okay. And so sometimes I say to people, you are the captain. I loved, and you know where I got that? I am the captain now. Does anyone know that movie? It's not really a great takeaway from this movie, but that's me. I'm always taking these healing takeaways. It was Captain Phillips, the movie Tom Hanks did, chronicling the pirate. Yeah, you know, they get taken over by pirates, and the one pirate is saying to Tom Hanks, I am the captain now. Okay, you got it? Like, you are not in charge. And it's a scary scene, but I mean, like, let's use that. You can speak to your ego the same way. I am. And remember, I am is a powerful affirmation. It's a powerful statement of being. I am. Like, I am that. I am the captain. Try it. I am the captain now. And you can giggle. It's okay. It's all kind of kooky and funny and cool. And, you know, we got to help ourselves. We in this posse, we have so many similar things, so many similar familiar journeys together that we've experienced. And when we find each other, it's like coming home. And part of that means then you must allow yourself, occasionally at least, to be mentored here, to take what I'm saying and create it in your life, practice it. You know, there are people I know who are very invested in staying in their victim mode, and I don't help anyone by protecting that, by wording it sweetly or trying to get around it. It's like, if you want to be in your victim mode, you will enjoy it. I hope you're loving it. Or do you want to get free? And so sometimes, you know, me too, I have to accept the mentoring where it's being offered, the light that's being offered to me, and do the work, do the freaking work, because you can insist that it's all shitty and it all sucks and it's a terrible thing and your life hasn't amounted to anything. And the mind is in love with that kind of stuff, you know? It creates so much drama in the body. I sometimes think this depth of despair. Do you ever hit that place in you where you're like, oh my God, it's all so terrible and it's so horrible and it's so, you know, whatever. It's so dramatic, and like you'll notice, like hours and hours and hours, you're vibing on a story. Because the mind won't shut up, you know? And so the energy, the output, the intake, it's insane. And I notice, like, is this really what I want to give myself to? Because the day gets spent either way. So do I want to be in that state, or do I want to be in a creative mode doing things? And some days I just give my heart to the creative mode. I pour my heart into something creatively. I pour my energy into shining a light for people who get it and want to be here for free. I'm doing this every week for free. The newsletter I write every week for free. Nobody's paying me. I'm not getting ad placement money or, you know, any of that. I do this because I care about pointings to the light. I care about waking up, and I care about helping others wake up. And for whatever reason, you know, I've always been this kid that, like, I'm just remembering this time where my parents took me to dinner. I was 4 or 5 years old, and I don't know how it happened. My dad's boss's house, and I was so drawn to this guy, the boss, and at the end of the night, I jumped up and pulled a toupee off of his head. Yes, like, I was so curious and fascinated. And it's not unusual in a child, you know. If you think about your own stories, you probably have one or two like that where something happened and you just couldn't let it go, like a dog with the bone. You had to know, you had to know, you had to know. Some of us are very driven like that, and my drive is really about helping us wake up and helping us see how we keep recreating our nightmares. And that, we're not bad or wrong, ever. But the thoughts we tell, the thoughts that we entertain about it, that's what sets us up. That's what sets us up. Look at the world today. Everything that's happening between, the pandemic, the resurgence, the politics, the Afghanistan, pulling out of there's I go on and on and on. Hurricanes, earthquakes, stock market stuff. All of that could be happening. Lots of us are not working like we once were. Money stuff going on. That is not why you're upset. It's not all of it, I should say. It's part of it, but there's another part. There's another part. It's our own thoughts. It's our own mental yes buts. It's our paying attention to what the mind is churning. It's giving our awareness to that as if it's the truth. The narration in the head is saying things that are leading us to feel things, that are leading us to, follow routes in our days, in our, do you know what I'm saying? It's like skipping a huge chunk of the equation when you do that. When you say, it's because my mother came in and said, I don't know, you have a big banana nose and I'm sorry I ever gave you life. I don't know. You hear so many kooky things. It's not because of that. It's not because you're not working. It's not because you don't have what you want to have. It's not because you're feeling friends that don't get you. There's a step in between that's not being acknowledged there. Really spell it out for yourself. The mind is trying to tear you down would be really good thing to start practicing. The mind is trying to take me in a direction I don't need to go. The mind is chattering. And it's like improv, where you play that game in improv where you go, and the person says whatever they're saying, and then you have to say and you add your next piece to it. And the mind is trying to take me to Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs Town. The reason so many of us study and practice these different things that we do is because we can't get there alone. We've tried. We can't do it on our own. We go in circles. I believed I was a loser for forever. And I'm still, I believe these stories and I'm still discovering new places. Just the other day, Jeff, how I was saying you have to take some mentoring from your posse. And the other day, number one husband and I were talking, and I said to him, I'm still thinking about the podcast. That's number A. Number B is the loser story, by the way. Still thinking about the podcast. And I said, I stood outside. I was walking at the park, and I just said no to my thoughts about the podcast. We're trying to churn again because it's getting toward the end of the week, and that's usually when I record. And It's like the mind has this thing where it thinks it can gain a lot of upset energy and be distraught. It loves to live in a state of being distraught and disconnected and disoriented and upset, right? I mean, you know how there's a certain kind of aliveness to that. It's not really alive, but it's very all-encompassing and very engaging. It distracts you like nothing else. So I said I was out walking around and I was looking at all these geese in the park with their babies. It was really, I was thinking about life. I was thinking about the magic of watching things like that, and beautiful, the feathers, and right then, like a hawk and its companion hawk, they were flying together, like flew right past like 10 feet from my head. And it's just like this wild, special moment. All these little things happen. And right after that, this lady was behind me and she said, "Isn't it terrible the way the park district doesn't clean up the poo?" And I stepped in the goose poo again. And I get it, because like probably 3 thoughts before that, I had a thought like that too. You know, it's not like I'm not thinking stuff like that too. But you know, you can choose, you can practice. And even if you have the poopy goose poo story going on, you can still say, hey, to your head, this is not a runaway train, you know? So anyway, I was there like, what deal? Come on, help me. Talking to God, that's how I do it. Hey, ho, what? Let's go. Come on. I'm ready for another piece here. I need another piece. Deliver me another piece of this puzzle, you know, because it's boring and I know I'm not quitting. I know I'm going to come and show up and record. I know I'm doing it because I love it and I love talking about it. And also it's just like who I am. Like, who watches Captain Phillips and sees the guy who says, "I am the captain now." And that's all I can think about is this is totally what we need to say to our egos. I don't know, but I was born for this. You know what I mean? It's probably my star chart, which I know nothing about, but I'm going to do it. This is my creative outlet, probably. It's part of what just I love. So help me advance the story. So very quickly, all these things come into place. It can be if you're sincere and you're asking and you're open to being mentored in your community too, because sometimes we get very defended when our friends give us advice, especially if it seems unsolicited. But you were there praying at the park with the geese and the goose poop lady and all that. You said the prayer, you know, you said, help me, right? So right away, I had this powerful flash of something I had been told over and over as a kid. And it wasn't one person, it was many persons. But this sort of energy of like, it's like I can hear the words. It's like if you're shining and somebody says, "Oh my God, you're shining," in that voice, like, "Oh my God, you're shining. I can see that you're shining." I can see that you're shining. And some of the people would say, "You're making me feel bad about myself by doing that, you know." Some of the voices would say, "It's wrong to do that. Who do you think you are?" Some of the voices would say, you know, "It's stupid. You look dumb. You look like an idiot." I always think about my stepdad, who just really, he struggled, man. He struggled. Boy, did he struggle. He suffered definition of suffering. So in his demons, into his thoughts, listening. And all he could do was escape every night, drinking, doers on the rocks. That's all he could do. That's all he could manage. And honestly, some lifetimes we spend doing just that. And even that is progress. As hard as that sounds, it's still progress for the soul. Anywho, so it's just like I got this real awareness of all the voices that influenced me as a kid. When I would be funny or flamboyant, or I loved to wear outfits. I still do. You should see what I have on today. I'm beautiful. I love it. And I love to feel like myself. Do you love to feel like yourself? I love to feel like myself. And so sometimes I will change until I find the thing that feels like myself. So today it's a flowery jumpsuit. It's so comfortable and stretchy and navy blue, which is one of my favorite colors on the planet. Anywho, I heard all those voices. And I really got it, how my mind uses those voices, those old words, to keep me a hostage, keep me locked into the fear-based stuff. And you have this too. This is what happens for you. Don't be surprised that you got the same old going on again. It's your signal to practice. It's one more opportunity to wake up. It's one more opportunity to choose how you want to roll. It's one more opportunity to be like wowed at the tenacity of your mind, and it's one more opportunity to realize you are the only one who can, who has the power to say, shh, to your head, to your mind, to tell your mind, shut up. Sometimes that's the deal. So, there's nothing wrong with you if you struggle. There's nothing wrong with me if I struggle. Let's move the needle on this, That's how I'm feeling anyway. And I wonder sometimes, can we find the gratitude for these places in us? I don't know that I can really say, thank you. I woke up struggling again. Thank you. But, I can find the place that's like, I'm so glad I'm awake. I'm so glad I know there is such a thing as mind chatter not being real, not being the true self. You know what I'm saying? It just seems so true and so real. It may still try and assert itself, In fact, this morning I felt some of the heaviness when I woke up. I was like, I have to podcast today. Not everybody wants to show up and do their thing. And then does this happen to you? You get mad at yourself because you like doing this thing, but you also struggle showing up. This is the classic. I'm sure it's classic. I think it is classic. Is it classic? It's hard. And it's hard, it's just, it can be hard. But like I say, the mind chatter is as we practice awakening, and maybe we'll be practicing our whole lives. I don't know. I'm always reminding us there is no there. There's only here, and here we are, and this is now. It's hard. I know it's hard. It's hard for me. It's hard to practice, but this is the truth. We just have to keep showing up, loving ourselves, and choosing again. I don't say this enough, but if you have a regular thing and a current upset that's the usual topic that your mind goes to, again, be mentored with this. Help yourself. Take this as your awakening challenge. Take it as your awakening challenge and study it. Learn about it. Help yourself. Talk in your therapy sessions, your healing sessions. Look up people who are talking about it and learn. It's, it's good to address it from lots of angles and to understand it's sort of like your sacred thing, your sacred awakening pain. To let yourself be in the mystery of why you're so frickin' bothered the way you are and not attached to it as your identity. It's one of the most bravest, courageousest pieces of work you could ever do, to say, this is going on and I am no longer identifying as that, even though there's this anxiety or this tendency to be this way. Or if you I've talked about this a lot, if you cry easy and you've been teased about that, like, to no longer identify as the person who is bad or wrong or difficult or challenging, or even as the person who is problematic because of this or is problemed because of this. Because I know that place in me where, if I feel upset or nervous or resistant to even wanting to record for the day, and it just happens and it happens and it happens. I mean, I've created this groove where I'm doing my awakening work, but can we change how we awaken? Can we change the dance we're doing with the same old, same old? Can we tell the mind chatter to shut up and keep moving forward in the direction we love? Wow. Wow. I feel the grace coming through right now again, and I feel like my throat is so tight right now and my eyes are watering, Just because not everybody tells you these things, it doesn't mean it's not what's going on behind the scenes. So if you have stuff that's really your struggle sometimes, but it's also your joy, I just want you to know you are so okay. It's so natural. Most of us have a gift that is tied to a wound. The wound and its gift. This is one of the very first blog posts I wrote. It's probably horrible writing, but I will be sure to put that in the show notes. We're connected. We've been hurt. I definitely was made to be feeling ashamed for stepping in front of a microphone from a very early age. I would be playing guitar on my tennis racket in my bedroom with my stuffed animals and my music, and some energy was running through me. I already knew one day I would be channeling something important into a microphone. I could feel it. The little kid in you thinks it's a rock star. For sure. It's a ballerina. It's a fireman, We turn these into certain things. But there's an energy already here. And it's talking to you, It's telling you. Right on cue. Here come the cicadas. But then, people come in and they don't affirm you. It's rare. I'm sorry. Who had an enlightened parent? It's rare. Maybe you do. Maybe you are that. Maybe your generation is that. In your family, you're the one. You're the unicorn. You're the mutant, as a former therapist of mine would call me. You're the mutant in your lineage. You're the one. But before us, who was enlightened? Who was working on stuff? I mean, it's rare. It's usually us. We were the ones meant to do the awakening. And over and over and over, I see that evidence. You're being tapped by who you truly are, sometimes very, very young. And it's always already directing you and telling you, like, guess what? You're awake in this lifetime. You're awake. You're on this journey. You're not going to be like the average bear. You're not going to be like the rest of your family. You're going to experience some stuff that's going to really rock your world in a negative way, in a positive way. You're going to have expansion. You're going to have huge moments. And you're also going to have huge moments where you feel totally disconnected from everybody else. You know, you're going to have tons and tons and tons of experiences that continue to rock your world one way or the other. And none of it defines you unless you let it. You're the captain now. You're the one. You're the enlightened one. And enlightenment is simply a practice of remembering who you truly are. And who you truly are? Who are you truly? Don't you dare say, yeah, spirit in a body, Robin. Don't do it. Are we sincere about waking up? Are we sincere about finding our peace? Then it's time to work on using your suffering to remember who you are. You are not your history. You are not your thoughts. You are the captain. Show up as you, the true you, and keep waking yourself up. Keep realizing, self-realization, what that means. Keep realizing the self, the true self. The true self that's not your thoughts. Use your suffering to remember who you are, my friend. And it is time to up your game, if you're ready for that. To own that middle step where it's like life is happening, yes. All of these things are happening. And your choice to dance in that dark disco, you need to honor that. You are doing that too. Don't just be like, the world is shit, and so my life is shit. There's a middle step there that needs to be honored that's happening. And that is, we're aligning to that. We're allowing that. We're getting something out of that. Even if it's just the bitter pain of touching a canker sore or a really tender hangnail. Sometimes I use these examples because they're perfect. And I notice, sometimes we're drawn to recreate the pain impulse. Take responsibility for that, and you'll be so much further along with part of what you're here doing in this day right now. Yeah. Honestly, I feel it. The goodness in you, the light in you, the truth in you. I feel it. The energy of love that shines through you. But I can't just tell you that over and over and over. At some point, you have to take this baton, and do your journey, do your leg of this journey on your own. And it will come down to that, where you realize, I'm done listening to the old voices. Where you realize, you know what, this is as far as I can go. I need to ask for help. I need to ask for some mentoring. I need to say a prayer here. You will be helped if you want to make the next advancement. I like in German, the word is Schritt. Take the next Schritt, the next steps, the next moves. Open yourself to receiving support. I'm always here in session, but I'm talking about support, like the mentors all around you. Number one husband for me, some of my best friends, people I see in session. You help me, and I know you know that. You help me so much. The love and the feedback you share, the cards, the letters you send me, the way you encourage me when you tell me I'm brave here, and the things I say and how much you need to hear it. And you help me too. So, let's love ourselves and take the next step, okay? Yeah, cheers to that. Amen. I love this message already. I haven't even heard it back. I just feel so good right now. I hope that's true for you as well. Now, we have time for a letter, and I have a beautiful letter coming up. Before I share that, I'd love to ask for your support on the podcast. If you've been tapped by Spirit, one way or another, you've been inspired while you're listening, if there's somebody you thought of, send this on to them, help them, who is already seeking, whoever that is in the world, already seeking for help. You know, those people I was telling you this story, like when you're praying, help me, help me, help me. I want them to find this, if that's what's meant to be. So if you've been tapped one way or another, share this on. Something helped you today, share it on. Tell that story, tell somebody else. And always listen again. Many of you tell me you listen more than once, and I do too. Light offered has that quality to it where it's like better than a binge watch of anything you can watch. Sometimes it just, not only does it smooth things out for us, but it helps us to expand. Yeah, so beautiful. And thank you. And any way you want to support me, and thank you, thank you, thank you always. Really, I hope you know how grateful in my heart I am for this ride with you. It's so true. Okay, this letter, such a beautiful letter, and my friend asked to be anonymous, so this is from Anonymous. Hi, Robin. Thanks for being out there on the internet. It helps me so much. I'm sorry I cannot afford to pay you for sessions right now. I wish I could. I'm unemployed and I've had fatigue, but slowly things are getting better. I'm starting up my company again. Small steps. I was burned out because of too much stress, working for clients. I'm not going to say the job just to protect your anonymity here. But I was, so continuing, working for clients, but I was always frustrated and stressed, and it is still hard for me to handle customers. I suffer from being too kind and taking in all people's energy. When I stopped working, my goal was to find a new path, to work with my art, which is my dream, and also combining with more spiritual work somehow. I have to learn slowly. And right now I'm so confused because there's so much to learn. I'm a very sensitive person and I feel other people's bad energy, but I still find it so difficult to understand the energy, how it works. I almost desperately want to learn about how this works, but I don't know how. I want to learn how to close myself, to stop taking in other people's energy. It drains me completely. Your latest podcast hit me in my heart. And this is referring to episode 142, There Are No Small Upsets. Your latest podcast hit me in my heart. You are amazing. Among all these healers out there, I find you outstanding, being so natural, true, and loving. Thanks again for being you and giving me so much hope. I thank you too, my friend. First of all, it takes enormous courage and bravery to write a letter like this, even though you know something about me and you listen to me and you work. You work with my teachings. You don't work with me, but you work with my teachings, and it's a safe space. It's still courageous and brave to talk about these things openly. So I asked you if I could read this, because there's so many of us with this going on. You're not alone. You're one in millions who have these feelings happening. You happen to be one of the ones courageous enough to reach out and express it and ask for help. And that's huge right there. It's a big time, this pandemic year and a half, 2 years, whatever we're at. We're also, I think about this time of year right now, it's back to school time, and I keep watching the school buses in my neighborhood and the kids walking to school and all the masks I see. And I'm not making any statement about masks. I'm just saying, like, it's a visual striking. And I feel very emotional a lot of times. I'm seeing it. I feel a lot of emotions arising in me. And, it would be such a beautiful thing to not need to, like, somehow be always handling this pandemic so well and handling it and being over it, or being, like, just to allow some of this energy to keep dissipating, to continue to heal and dissipate. And not just the pandemic, but all that you personally have been through in the last couple of years. It's been a haul. It's been a journey. Look at my throat as I'm talking about this. Can you hear it? Just to be slow and easy and allow ourselves to be okay with the feeling of too much stress and being burned out, and being like, that is the deal. And it's okay if I take space. It's okay if I allow myself to rest. It's okay to rest for no reason. It's okay to acknowledge the feeling of being burnt out and do something different than the dance we always do. At some point, we want to rise in a new energy with all of this, and not just keep putting out fires and just always working at it, always working at it. I was just talking to a friend in a healing session today, and I said, at some point, do you remember those games? It's like a God, my words are failing me, but this ball that we would give little kids, it had holes in it. Some were square, some were triangles, some were circles. And then the blocks that you put in, and it's, we have this saying, you don't want to put a square peg in a round hole. But also on the spiritual journey, like, at some point, it's okay to stop always putting all the pegs in all the holes and just getting it right all the time. You can just kind of throw the whole ball out and say, I'm going to have a whole new path, a whole new experience. I'm not going to continue to go back to the framework I've always used. I'm not going to continue to always assume that my work is going to come through this channel. This one way I've learned, like, you're right there. I want to learn how this new way works, but I don't know how. I want to learn how to do this, and I don't know how yet. So let's pretend a new field is being prepared beneath your feet right now, an energetic field. And we can continue to dance with the upset that always has been there, that you've related to, that you've interacted with all your life, unemployed, fatigue, don't have money to afford it. This is like in your example, okay? The example you're giving, the old field of upset. Or we can totally stand in a new field of awareness and say, I'm here and I'm ready and I want to be rested and healing, releasing the old. For example, the pandemic experience, it's okay with me if it takes me a few years. Some people are not going to like that I just said that. It's okay if it takes me a few years of healing. Some of us, there's a death in our lives. when my mom died, there were people 2 weeks later, my life blew up. But 2 weeks later, I remember my ex-mother-in-law, is that what you say? My ex-mother-in-law calling me and saying, it's time to get back to the real world. It's been 2 weeks. It's time to get back to the real world. Not everybody can handle it, but I hope you're somebody who can say, I can be okay taking my time, healing, releasing, allowing some energy to dissipate. And I'm also going to remember I'm in a new field here. I'm standing in a new field. That story is The Field of Diamonds is coming to me. I'll see if I can look it up, and I'll link it in the show notes for you guys, anyone feeling called to read about that. Standing in a field of diamonds. I'm going to let this good beneath my feet energetically, I'm going to let it come. I'm not going to fill in the gaps. I'm not going to just put the pegs in the holes and keep trying to do my do. I'm going to stay here, witness my upset, my frustration, my stress, give myself the healing I need. I need rest. I need sunshine, fresh air, water. I need giggles and laughs and fun books and TV shows. And yes, art. I need to create. I like it. I had a week off. I gave myself a week off. Yes, you could work forever, all the time. And when we work by ourselves, I work for myself. It sounds like you work for yourself. The tendency is to tell that story. Like, if I'm not working, there won't be money. And, I don't have the benefit of benefits because I work for myself. And I don't have a retirement plan because I work for myself. I hear these stories all the time, and sometimes I tell them too. But are we going to keep staying in the old field of upset and fear and stories, or are we going to trust this new way that wants to come? I want a new way. I want a new way. So, for all the things that you're sharing here, you're a sensitive person and you take in other people's energy. Help me to heal. Help me to heal. I was talking earlier about at some point we want to open to receiving the mentoring here for us. So, in this example, you said, you're amazing. Among all these healers out there, I find you outstanding. So that must mean some of what I share feels powerful for you. Will you take some of what was shared today and apply it? Do the work. Not just listen and soothe the part of yourself upset and hurt and, driven crazy by other people's crazy, which is something I really, really relate to. Will you take some nuggets here and do some practices with me? So other people will always present work for us, and we are sensitive. It's very natural. Of course, we're sensitive. We're intuitive. We're creative. Being sensitive and interpreting energy is part of the gift that we have. But the wounded side of that is, look at how you grew up. Probably there was some codependent dancing you did with your family, and when they were in a mood, you were in a mood. Of course, there's going to be some work to do. So how can you not destroy your business because you can't handle the vibes coming your way? That's something I have to ask people often in their businesses. Don't make it about you if people are a bit intense and annoying. I was talking to a client the other day, and they were talking to me about a client. This happens a lot. They were talking to me about their client, and this person, don't they get it? And there's boundaries for a reason. They're kind of shouting at the air, telling the person who is not in the room and unable to hear any of these things being said. But it's like if we just complain long enough, it'll go away. But it doesn't go away. We have to set a boundary. We have to close the door. We have to learn how to say, you know what? This person, they operate in this way, but it still doesn't have to mean that I dance with that. You can learn how to say no. You can learn to say, these are the availabilities I have. You can say, don't contact me on the weekend. I don't answer calls on the weekend. Truly, there is no such thing as an emergency, but the wounded part of us, that everything came in like that hot potato, we couldn't handle it. So we learned to quickly dispatch the hot potato. And so you're still sitting with the hot potato today, like, I have to do it. I have to do it. I have to do it. Like, you can handle it. You can handle it. You're very curious about spiritual work, you said, so this is the perfect time. I recommend, early on, I wrote a lot of articles on the chakras and what they do, and I will link this in the show notes. It's really fun to learn about your own energy and to see how you are so impacted by other people and their energy. And so that's a solar plexus thing that's going on, and your throat chakra gets involved. This is why sometimes I'll say to you, listen to my throat. We're in charge of getting drained completely, though. This is the work we must do on our own. And so earlier I was saying the yes, but thing happens. Yes, but people are so draining. Yes, but I have to learn how to do it. Yes, but I'm so frustrated and stressed. Yes, but I can't handle the customers. Yes, but I'm on, yes, I want to receive help, but I'm unemployed and I'm fatigued. All right, this is your work now. How can you stand on your acre of diamonds, on your field of diamonds? Yet to be. This stuff is yet to be. But it's coming. Trust in that. Trust in this universe that does have your back always. And see what wants to come. Instead of filling in the gaps, instead of speaking into life all the things you already know, all the things that came before, all the old, boring stories. That one lady, the cuckoo client, we all have them. But your work is to stop dancing in that old energy and be still in this new field and, allow the energy to come. So, go towards what you're excited about. That is always such a good thing. Play in your art. Play in the energy. Learn more about your spiritual stuff. I will put, if you visit robinhallett.com/148, it'll also be in the description here where you're listening. Click on that and you'll see the articles there. Play and have fun and watch the tendency. And it'll be quick because all of us have a small self ego mind that's trying to destroy the joy. That's just what it wants to do. So see if you can let it be there and not identify. That's the work. It's like earlier I was saying I could hear the cicadas kicking up. Now they're totally quiet again. The stuff comes and the stuff goes. We don't have to come and go with it. What remains is always you, right here, right now. Fabulous, beautiful, totally ready, totally loved. So I hope that helps, my friend, and thank you for writing. I so appreciate hearing from you. I love knowing that what I share helps. It goes deep into my heart as evidence, for the part of me that struggles, as you've been listening today, with all that stuff too. So we'll keep holding hands and walking together. How does that sound? Thank you, thank you. And friends, I love to read your letters here. If you have something and you feel ready, you want to receive some support, some love, and also help the world of us here in the Love Posse do some more healing, please write to me at hello@robinhallett.com or reach out to me on social media, and I already can't wait for that. So good. Well, friends, that wraps another amazing episode of Tea with Robin. I hope you loved it, and like I say, if you did, take it a step further for you. Put this love into action in your own heart. Sometimes it's not enough to just keep putting the pegs in the holes and saying it's good. You gotta start to take action in new areas so that it isn't just stagnant, going back to the same old again, You know, some of us were just in the same old for 30 years. That's how it happens. What's your next step? Right now. What is your next move? All right, well, this has been me, Robin Heart Sparkler Hallett, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye-bye. Life is very short, let's make the very most of it. You are a precious gem and I love you. Do 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 do. We are here to shine and shine bright. You are a gem and I love you. Do 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 do. Life is precious and you are a spark of the divine. So shine like you know it, rock it like you mean it, 'cause you really, really mean it, and mean it, and mean it, and mean it, and mean it. Don't let crispy people tell you that you aren't sparkly, 'cause you are, 'cause you are, 'cause you are. Thank you. I like that. I love it, honey. Thank you. Give me a kiss.